Void Jin. Talking about characters that I would play at the Wish tournament. I have practiced this deck a lot. I think that the Void symbol is very, very strong for Jin because it's the easiest symbol where we get on Void, we're getting access to flash attacks and we're getting access to a lot of draw and we're getting access to a lot of very powerful cancels. Let's jump straight into it with the attack lineup. I've got Mop Strike and Rejuvenating Smash in here to draw. Jin never wants to run out of cards in hand. He wants to take control of the game. The biggest downside of Jin is that he's a control character who's a 6-hander instead of a 7-hander. So he can struggle to control the game to the same degree as 7-handers do. We need things that draw. Mop Strike is going to discard and draw 2. Rejuvenating is going to draw 2. That's where those come in. After that, the best thing that we're doing is getting these flash attacks. We're getting 4 Tornado Fist and 2 Gently Theft. So we've got 6 attacks that, since Jin is giving speed at response speed, then we can say Gently Theft, hey, here's a 6 mid-8. Or here is a 7 mid-8. Tornado Fist is our best lead-off attack, 6 high 5. If you don't block it, I'm going to get a momentum, and this attack is going to momentum, so I'm getting 2 momentum. If you don't block this, I'm getting 2 momentum. Or I can just clear it from my card pool, play Rejuve on a 5. That's the biggest downside of Rejuve, is that it has to be played on a 6, because it needs to be your second attack to your second card to get that response off. But with Tornado Fest, if we discard it, then we're playing Rejuve on a 5. We have a lot of ways to get the free momentum from Rejuve. We have Botan's Coaching to discard a card. We have Petty Squabble to discard a card. So that's 6 different foundations. I could have sworn there was another way, but I can't think of it at the moment. But anyway, I think that's part of the best things of Botan's Coaching as a 0-def is just that it turns on Rejuvenating Smash, and then you get that free momentum. The best way that we're using momentum here is on Echoes. We're playing 4x Double Fists and 4x Double Tornado Fist. So we've got 3 categories of attacks here. We have draw attacks, we have flash attacks, and then we have echo attacks. Double Tornado Fist in all of my testing has consistently shown to be the best attack that Jin has access to. I know it says UR, it has his face on it, that should have been obvious. But in my early builds, I was only playing 1 or 2 of this, and then it became very, very clear that this was demanding to be at a 3 or 4x. If this attack speed is 6 or greater, it gets +2 damage. We're talking about a 6 high 7 echo attack. Sometimes between these, sometimes you get to draw, not very often. You can just consider that bottom enhance not real. It's a 6 high 7 echo that's a low block. And by the way, once again, we're kind of struggling with low blocks here. We only have 14 in a 60 card list, so that becomes very, very important. The deadlock on Gently Theft is huge. We have this sneaky discard strategy available to us. Basically, if they're in deadlock, they're going to discard 2 cards out of their hand, and then we can hit them with the Genkai's Guidance to make them discard. We can hit them with Fruit of Our Labor's Deadlock to discard. So while most of the time we're getting our attacks through with speed, if they ever enter deadlock, we have a really good discard strategy available to us as well. It's not all just about the speed. But the biggest downside of this attack lineup is that we're not really pumping damage in any sort of way. Sure, Rejuve is a 6 damage attack. Gently Theft is 8 damage. Double Tornado Fist is 7 damage. Like, they're already pretty high damage just on face, but we need a way to give it more damage. So that's why in our spam foundations, I've got Red Right's the coolest to flip for +2 and paying the cost. Lose a health, give it a damage. With Jin, we're typically playing really, really nice defense, and so we'll have a healthy life total even late in the game. Basically, paying the cost is always online when we're ready to really go in. We have all of these echoes. We can go Tornado Fist into clear it from our card pool, Rejuve into Double Tornado Fist, echo it, Double Fists, echo it, Mob Strike. Like, pretty soon over the course of a turn, we've given +6 to +8 damage to our attack string. It can feel really, really good. The biggest downside of the Void symbol in my mind is that the spam foundations available to Jin are not great. That's the biggest downside to both Void Jin and Air Jin, is the spam foundations just aren't quite what you want from a typical competitively successful deck. But for what the spam foundations lack, the 2 difficulty foundations more than make up for. Spooky is crazy in this character since we're subtracting so much speed and then we can swap it Can't Escape Me will always be good, stopping our rival from adding cards to their hand. Also, the Deadlock Enhance is nuts. Petty Squabble is really good in Jin because we don't care too much if we're committed. So we can commit your character, both players discard 2 cards and draw 2 cards. Jin is still playable while committed, so he doesn't care too much about this. You're losing the cancel on defense, but if you draw the attacks that you needed, who cares that you lost the cancel? You're still giving your speed, and you can go and dig for something. It's another way to discard 2 for Rejuve Smash. Discard a card to commit a rival foundation after they play an ability on it. That's quite good as well. Hacker Extraordinaire, I love this card, and it got so much more important this set. So many people are playing strong assets. We've got assets like Cape of No Return and assets like Idun Box that came out with Yu Yu Hakusho. Flipping an Idun Box can win you the game. Also, we're getting a lot of momentum. We don't have a lot of ways to spend momentum here. We get the EX3, we get the Echo on Double Tornado. This Echo is already free though, and so the best thing we can be doing with momentum most of the time is simply drawing a card. Remember, Jin wants to see lots of cards to take control of the game. Masho Concealment is our best foundation. It is unique, so I don't really want to run this at higher than 2 of. I wouldn't blame you if you ran it at a 3 of though. Honestly, it's kind of like that Lemillion of the Big 3 for Mirio, where he just runs 4 of it no matter what, even if it's unique. You could kind of get that way with this foundation. Commit to cancel something on their foundation, or on the Team Masho Enhance, it's just -1 speed or +1 damage for free. For free. So now if you have Masho Concealment and paying the cost out, all of your attacks are getting 2 damage, and you can go on this huge attack string. Prone to Dry Eyes. Oh, this was our other way on Rejuve Smash to discard a card. See, so we got 8 foundations that allow us to discard a card. We can discard a card to get that extra damage. If you have Prone to Dry Eyes, Masho Concealment, and paying the cost out, hey, now everything's getting 3 damage, 4 damage, 5 damage. All of a sudden, these Jin attacks that are typically pretty small aren't so small anymore. Also, we can just, after this card is committed, ready 2 face down foundations. And then we have 2 Unbreakable. We're not playing a lot of low blocks. We do need to full block a lot of things as Jin. And then just protect our stage a little bit. I don't love Unbreakable. It just feels kind of necessary in a character like this, where the difference between full blocking something and half blocking something is so big when we want to stay alive for 5 or 6 turns and play a little bit of a longer game. We're not like Younger where we want to face tank things. We don't want to be doing any of that. We want to block everything. Speaking of blocking everything, Barrier Shield is going to be great for that. If we're playing a deck that's drawing a lot of cards and where we should have card advantage, we don't care that we're using 2 cards to block an attack. Genkai's Guidance, and then 1x Cape of No Return. I could honestly see taking all of these out for other things. I don't think that this list is quite there yet. I've done a lot of testing on it. It's felt very good. I still think there's a few more refinements that are probably needed. Oh, Unexpected Hero. We have a lot of ways that we're forcing our rival to discard, right? Botan's Coaching, Gently Theft, among others. Well, whenever they discard, we can commit to draw. It's also just a low block. And then the -3 speed and +3 damage, we can use this on defense if we need an extra -3 speed, or on offense if they're at a point to where they simply can't block. Like, for example, Rejuve Smash. Basically, Unexpected Hero says that EX3 is actually powerful 3. Because you'll EX3 your attack, give it +3 speed, and then you'll take away the +3 speed and give it +3 damage. So it's basically saying, okay, let's turn the EX3 into powerful 3. Because it's already a 6 speed move. And if they're committed out, they're not going to be blocking it. So the 3 damage matters a lot more. I really like the versatility here. Sometimes we're drawing, sometimes we're subtracting speeds, sometimes we're adding damage. The part that this deck is lacking a little bit is the spam foundations, and then also I don't really have a lot of self-foundation destruction for benefit. We're missing that like Immortal Shapeshifter, Nejire Chan of the Big 3. We're missing those solid destruction outlets to where we can get rid of our face-down foundations, build face-up foundations. We're not playing a lot of those. We do have access to the 1-diff, 2 low block, I believe, that like after something deals damage, you can discard a card and draw a card. That's fine. You could maybe play that just to have a self-sacrifice outlet on your foundations. But so those are the basic ways that the deck is lacking. But I really, really enjoy all the card advantage to Void. I enjoy the flash moves, and I enjoy that the echoes that you're getting here. You're getting double fists of the Mortal Flame. In my testing, this has been Jin's best attack. You combine this with Prone to Dry Eyes, Macho Concealment paying the cost. You get to do it for free twice. It's a 5 or 6 speed echo that's free. Feels really, really good. I think you could just basically take this list and have a very good chance in the Wish tournament at taking down the entire thing.